Mhlophe. Ntate ga ananela ntate. Yes, you are welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Honorable Makhalanyane Mokhothu. And I just want to let you know that when I first met him, it was in 2007. That's when I met him, and he would have been working at Global Fund. And that time, I'd never seen someone so effective. That time, back then, how many years ago it is? So he would have facilitated, that time I would have worked at Beda College of Medicine Insurance Foundation as one of my first jobs, having graduated from National University of Lesotho with Bachelor of Social Work, and I would have studied as a social worker there. I would have worked with them for 2 years, valuable 2 years of my life. But then I thought, okay, I don't have no public service experience. Can I not change and see? I've always been in the private sector. So I met Honorable Makhalanyane. He tailored a training module for the professional counselors, as we called them. And so this is how now we are meeting. Now he's a member of parliament, and that means the very same effectiveness he would have displayed. He now has the chance to be at the higher position to execute. So, Dr. Makhalanyane, you can go ahead, Honorable Member.
Thank you so much, Retha-Billy. Let me just say that I'm also the chair of chairs in the Parliament of Lesotho. So, and I'm also a new General Secretary for the Southern Africa Parliamentary Network Against Corruption. So, when I speak, I'll also be enhancing those issues. I'm just saying so that you are aware, maybe where do I come from when I speak. I will be speaking about corruption and then all those part of the things plus this. Thank you so much, Dr. Retha-Billy. Yeah, it has been a long journey on this, and I wish this platform could continue that we share the experiences, we can encourage people. We had a beautiful meeting yesterday with the health professionals with you, which was quite encouraging and giving a lot of hope for Basotho. And we are talking about more than 400 of Basotho nurses who are not working at the moment, but they are qualified, and some are just watching their vehicles, they are selling in the streets, they are doing different things. We are talking about the social workers who have since finished at the University of Lesotho for some time. They are in the shops selling and then all that. So what you have just said with the deriving, unfortunately I don't know what happened. I couldn't join. It kept on saying that I should wait for somebody to let me in. I couldn't come in, but I was ready by 11.
Yeah, I'm sorry because now our presenters were on, so we're not able to take any new people joining, so we'll have to wait for until they finish. I'm sorry for that, lad. I'm sorry about that.
So I didn't hear what I saw that Prof. Marabi said. I think he has already spoken, so I missed that, but it's fine. So I just want to come in here. I'll also give you some statistics in terms of education in the Lesotho. I have for the latest. I have a privilege of those statistics because I'm a chairperson of the committee that looks after the education in the country. So in this year, the last year, 24-25, we've got the targets and the actual, and then 25, 26, we also have the targets, and then also 26 and 27. But one of the things that I'm interested in, it will be maybe if you look how many students we have at the lower level. We've got 117,408. Those are the number of students that we have had in 24-25. Among those students, when we go further to see how many are really succeeding over a period of time, the assessment that has been done indicates that normally about 61% do pass. Pass and progress with education. But now, let me those countries in 1987, which were very much struggling, which were nowhere, but they have come to the higher level. One of the things that they prioritized was education, and what type of education. And I was also reading a document, that issue of education. One of the things that I read is how much they took education to be a priority because it was going to determine the development of that country. And I want to stand on this platform now. I've worked with the government for 13 years before I became a member of parliament. And I can tell you, we have supported programs like the Trauma Fund that you mentioned. We were supporting education in a big way. We were supporting the curriculum. We supported the sponsorship of the students. But I can tell you, up to now, education for the leaders of this country refuses to indicate that it's really a priority. Can we talk about, but in terms of now actual building the actual that it's a priority that will bring about the development in the country, that part is missing. Having said that, I'll say that the curriculum, we are aware that we have had the students who are in grade 11, and we have been talking much about the grade 11 students have written, but when you look at the curriculum, you don't see that. There's nothing like a grade 11. It was an aborted program. There's nothing like that. The program that we have, it has got grade 12. It has got grade 12. So the issues of the politics of Lesotho that has been very unstable or making unstable are the ones which are causing some of the things even to appear as if they are programs or policies, because that's where they were left by the previous government. When they leave it there, the others who are coming in, because of the way we are doing in the political leadership, the way we hate each other, we can't even make a handover. We can't even display that, please. The other leader was telling me that when I left the position, I have done all the handover notes.
Oh my
and then
God.
I wanted to hand over to the other person. And he said, go away, I'll buy my new key and my new law, and I'll make my new files.
Oh my
You
God.
can't the government like that.
Oh my
So
God.
the government, normally, when we make a budget this year, we are making the budget for 3 years. So if the others come, they are not even aware that the budget and the plan were already outlined for the next 3 years. That's a disaster. Because those people, they come in, they struggle. And we keep on saying that, no, when you come into the government, you are a minister, you struggle for 1 year, the second year will... It's not supposed to be like that. The plans are there, the technocrats are there, the policies are there. You're not going to do new policies unless you're actually making a government upside down. The issues of the manifesto from the political party, they don't see much of the day of life into the system. Because remember, when you do the plans of the country, you're working with the UN agencies and all that. Eventually you agree on NSGP2 extended. When you have that, it takes years. So the issue that you come and implement all your manifesto is not true. Because even your manifesto must get its power from the national plans to show that you are aware of what has been happening in the country. So I think sometimes I get irritated by that because it is taken, the government does not belong to the minister or to the MP. The government is a system. So if you kill the civil service system,
Oh my God.
reduce it to a person who can be reshuffled tomorrow, you are messing up the country. The system must be consistent. I normally make an example like you are in Europe, then you know the country like Switzerland. The system is solid. But the leadership does not tamper with the system. He just said, how fast can we run? So I think our country is not being destroyed by lack of money, lack of leadership, but I think leadership in the politics has been the huge problem.
So the Makhalanyane, I've asked Professor Mahal one time he was on our show. I asked him, why is it that for us social workers we have to qualify and have a degree for social work, for nurses the same way, but for you politicians, so I was just alluding to this because the question of all of these things, I think when you don't have theory, you know politics because you've been practicing politics But everything now will have the theoretical approach that you will then need to be able to consult enough when you are doing your policy, even when you are making and developing these manifestos that you want them to become policy, because you don't know how policy processes have to be.
Well, yes. You have seen when you look at the NRA, and then you look at the report, the plenary report too, that's what has indicated that they wanted the MPs to come into parliament that have a minimum requirement, like any other places. But unfortunately, that was thrown out by the members of the parliament themselves, but also I think even the other people really were very negative about that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Because
So that did not fit the day of life in terms of the qualification or the requirement for a person to be an MP. That's the problem. But I just wanted to move forward to say the issue of unemployment in Lesotho. If we look at a country like Germany, it hires 11% of the employees with them, but this in the private sector, civil society, NGOs, they hire at least 89% of the people. What it means is that they have made a conducive environment for business sector to thrive and employ people on a very almost permanent basis in different chain value chains. So for us in the city, if you look at now, we are not having any value chain that we can say is sustainable. If you look at the wool, you will find that we are going as far as raising the sheep, and then from there shearing, and then clothing of the wool. That's our value chain. And then from there, once you're flushed, then it leaves the country. Whereas if you still have the scoring that could be done in terms of the weaving, and then it could be still having us doing our fabric based on that. So those are some of the value chains that we have. The chicken, for instance, if you look at the statistics of the 2025, January to December, it will indicate that in terms of chicken, the country imported 51 million kgs of meat, which comes to the amount is 1.7 billion. So if you look at that, if we were to take even half of that, it could assist us to build a value chain. So even if you can talk about the have the chickens and all this, the poultry, but if we are not building the value chain, that takes from the mechanization, the food, that goes to the actual, the feeding, the production, up to the end user, which is the shops like ShopRite, and then all those shops that which are there. If we are not building such a thing, nobody will have any confidence in our producers and in our private sector in those lines. If you look at the meat industry, if you look at the cranes, if you look at that, there's no value chain. And why don't we have it? It's because our politicians, the leaders, the ministers, the people who are in the policy making are competing with the ordinary people most of the time in those businesses. When you talk about that, the people will share the value of 1.7 billion. The people who are in business, who are in the government, they will not let that see the day of life. Because they are competing. They are not even thinking small. They are thinking, what about if I get that, half of that? So that's the big challenge in the Retha-Billy that we have. We need to overcome that. I think the issue of really playing, waiting for the government, it should be a service that a person says, now I decide to So it's very unfortunate, even now as we are talking about the general unemployment. I was talking about this issue, the Retha-Billy and all the participants on this platform. I said, when you look at the government of Lesotho in terms of what they have done, they have tried what you're doing, they have tried that. And then in trying that, they got connected with Mauritius. Mauritius said, we are ready. We want 4 categories of employees from Lesotho as an export labor. That has never happened.
I remember this.
Guess what? It was not even talking about that higher level of education. It was talking about the people who've been able to cut the head of the fish. It was talking about hospitality. It was talking about the truck drivers. It was talking about hospitality and then.
I remember another one was talking about domestic work.
Exactly. Because they were saying, but when these people can say, specialists also even indicators that can Lesotho provide 800. We have never done that.
Oh, what's the problem? What's the problem?
People were saying the nurses and the doctors and then I can understand because of the red listing. But this one, they have no listing. They just needed the politicians to sign.
So what is the problem with implementation? What's the problem?
The problem is that the politics of Lesotho have been reduced to what do I benefit? If I give this job, do I get the bones out of that? The politics of Lesotho have been reduced to the benefits.
Oh my God.
That means we have now our electoral has been reduced to 36%. What does that mean? It means the 36 people who are in politics who are actually electing are the ones who are going to benefit, while the 64% will never see any opportunities in the government. Go and look at the recruitment, go and look in the tendering. These things have killed the country more than actually bringing any development. So the unemployment is being purported, perpetuated, and promoted by the leadership of the countries in the continent of Africa. The corruption that is associated with the tenders, that is associated with the recruitment of the human resource is the one. If you don't agree with me, go and look at the report. That report of GCO 2024-2025. Go and look at that report, page 28 and 29. Section 5, 3.5.2 and 3.5.3. Go and look at the report that is called a stateless in Lesotho by the Ombudsman of 2026. Go and look at that report when it talks about the issues of recruitment in this country. They have destroyed the people, they have destroyed the politics. But nevertheless, they have made a country unstable.
Yeah.
The report on the outlook from Central Bank also outlined said the only reason why this country cannot grow is because of instability. And instability is not caused by the masses of the people. Instability is caused by the people who are looking for positions in the government. When they are members of parliament, they are also looking at the possibility of being a minister. When they are ministers, they're looking at the possibility of being a prime minister. But we never focus on developing the country so that the people have ample jobs. The country has got 2.2 million people, and then we say normally more than 350,000 of the people don't even live in this country. So the rest of the people, you have got the middle class of the people who are working sometimes in the government and then also. There are people who are left in between. How can we fail to make sure that we have a development in the Parliament of Lesotho, because of my position, in the Parliament of Germany, they have a man that is responsible for Africa. If the chairperson is responsible, that man has come to the country in Lesotho to meet with me about the situation. He was talking about simple things. Vocational training, TVET education. He said, we would like to engage to make sure that your people, from what they are doing here, they can come to Germany so that they upgrade exactly what you are saying. They have master's course. They say, can we have more competence in the people with high skills to work for us? Because almost all of us have been taken through a basic in terms of the vocational training or a physical work and more. But I was just talking to the Minister of Education, said, but this thing has not moved anywhere up to now. So, I mean, I'm just worried that unemployment is a man-made more than anything. It's just like poverty. We are creating this thing, and the sooner we can stop overshooting, we don't even need anybody to say they come and help us. We have enough skills. I like what Rodney has said, that Africans are very brilliant. If you go to these ministries have employed highly qualified people who are not doing their work because the ministers and the politicians are doing their work, the technical work, which what you were saying that you were saying, why are we not having those people? You don't even need that much. We need to have the people who are telling you this, but we can trust the system that it will work. We can have that, no, this is the goal that we need to reach to, and I have experts to reach. If you remember to one part, where I was, I had experts around that office. There were very powerful people that we have employed around. It didn't need me to have all the skills that are needed. So I think even with the government, it's the same. If we can trust the system, we can trust the people we have the best skills. Because those people take advantage when they see that this guy is just interested in his petty politics of the people from his constituency, taking a payment here and there, not the bigger picture of removing or eliminating poverty, eliminating unemployment in the country.
So, Honorable Member, as we conclude, I can hear you are saying the graduate unemployment in Lesotho is a social construct. So, as you conclude, I would like you to indicate, if we believe it's man-made, it's a social construct, how can we deal with the current one? There will be graduations soon in September in most schools. What can we see differently between this September and September next year? What can we do in order to make an impact to reducing, if you believe it is man-made and it's a social construct?
A couple of things that needs to be done that also, I think we need to be very serious about the issues, not to play around because we are looking at politics. I've often talked about the Queen Mokhothu. It has got 130 doctors, but they make referrals to the maximum of 5,747 in 2025, January to December. You cannot even comprehend what is happening. It cannot happen. That means we still have to pay about 300 million. While we have a hospital here that we are already putting up to $500,000 to run. But that same hospital takes out more money to another country. That means in terms of employing the 130, all these things have not been considered. I know the minister sometimes said, no, it's because of the cancer and oncology. And I refuse. Because on those numbers, I looked at the numbers of the cancer patients. 1,493. Which is not even 50% of the patients. So that means if we could cut all these other categories because of the skills, that means if the skills match, if you cannot match the skills with the requirement of the work, we'll always have a problem.
This is what one speaker said. This is what Mr. Mosakane, the CEO of BLM Consultancy, they are an accounting firm. He spoke of the skills match. So thank you very much for your contribution in that day. We would like you to make your closing remarks, and then if you want to be able to stay with us long until everybody is presented. I don't know who else is here. To you, our invited guests, please, after this, we're going to have Mr. Charlie, who's going to have an approach that is going to look at it from the way he sees it. And he is a graduate, he's a young person as well. I'm very happy. Mr. Musa came for your information, Honorable Member. Honorable Mokhothu is only 24 years, and Mr. Jale is also one of the young ones. And I am excited. I was intentional about inviting them to this because we are talking about graduates, and we want graduates to see other graduates engaging in business.
Just the first thing that this issue of really targeted way or focused way of our development in the country is a serious issue. I went to Zambia recently to meet with the medical students, and I was shocked to realize that we have so many medical students who are not supported, who are not sponsored, while we are complaining about maybe no specialists. And some of those who are specializing, some have already returned because they were struggling. So you can imagine, I'm just saying that what we are funding, what we are saying, what we are prioritizing are not measured. So we need a support of the technocrats around us, even as we speak in the parliament. We need some researchers that help us to say, okay, before you can make this budget, here is a finding that indicates in the health sector where we are supposed to focus. In the other economy, where we are supposed, I think their contribution, I just want to get those with their contribution is very important. This week we had one presentation from one young doctor who was showing us that look at your findings that you're not focusing on things that will reduce the cost later on. Thank you so much, Director. Let me not take much time of other people so that we are able to discuss and talk. Thank you so much. I appreciate the chance to make my contribution on this discussion and platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ndate, for your beautifully presented piece. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Honorable Makhalanyane Mokhothu, as indicated earlier. And among the things that he spoke about, he has touched on a lot of issues about 65% of the students passing, about the TVET. He's also spoken to curriculum and prioritizing education, and he mentioned the likes of a country called Vietnam, where they took themselves out of poverty through education. You remember President Nelson Mandela. So some of the people who are not able to join, can you join while we are transitioning to the next speaker at the moment? So please join us while we are transitioning to the next speaker. If you were trying to join, if you know someone, Honorable Nkakuka, he was trying to join, please join now so we cannot miss what you had for us. He's one of the